Yo, what they do, Dime? Welcome to Diamond and Wolf for Real the Essence. Of course, I have my girl Jaleesa in the building. Jaleesa,
yes,
how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Of course, it is good to have you in the building. And for the people who don't know who you are, can you kind of give them like a little gist?
My name is Jaleesa. I'm, born and raised Tallahassee. Working, single mother, single mother. Just doing my thing, paying my bills.
Right. So she's here with me today, and of course, y'all already know what y'all in for. Listen, first of all, before we even get into this topic, what is this that we hear? Did you hear about David Cruz? Somebody's supposed to be trying him in Miami.
Who was that?
David, the one that's doing the faith walk.
Oh,
yeah. Did you hear about that?
Supposed to be doing what?
So apparently they were saying that somebody tried him. I guess took off on him, saying that he had to check in Miami or whatever before he came to Miami. He doing a faith walk. Yeah.
Really?
But
they being that petty,
right?
In Miami?
That ignorant. I don't even know if I want to call it petty. I'm gonna just call it ignorant because, first of all, if you see somebody doing a faith walk, I mean, anybody in their right mind should know not to touch God, child. But the fact of the matter is, like, why would you do that? Like,
that's not right.
From what I've seen, they say he blessed them. So that's what you get for when you touch a
right.
You know what I'm saying? Messing with God's children.
Exactly, especially when he's on a mission.
Yeah, they say he blessed his ass. So we'll see how
that's wild. Yeah,
I didn't know it was like that. Yeah, that's
in Miami. I guess,
I guess I can expect that though.
Yeah, because when you go in Miami, you gotta pay those expensive tolls and stuff.
Oh, I don't think I ever paid tolls to go when I went to Miami.
I've never been to Miami, but I heard that. Well, actually, I was close. I was in Clearwater, and I know I had to pay like tolls every time I go in and out the city. And they say in Miami you gotta pay those tolls.
I don't think I ever. If I paid tolls in Miami, that mean I just ain't no, cause I don't even pass. Girl, I just decided to get a sun pass, but girl, I ain't never paid no tolls in Miami. Girl, they must have built me something like that. Made me pay later.
Miami is bougie.
Girl, please.
Bougie. I ain't never been, but I would love to go.
It's not they need talking about this man need to check in. He doing a fake walk.
Yeah,
you know that ain't nothing but
he's a pedestrian.
Girl, you know that ain't nothing but the devil. That's all it is. The devil.
It is.
Child, but we're finna get into this topic tonight. We're gonna get into this topic tonight, and y'all already know what the topic is. Like, basically, I was watching this podcast. I forgot what's the name of the podcast, y'all forgive me. But basically, he was saying how men are unattracted to women, emotionally unattracted to women, but romantically attracted to women. So, how do you feel about it?
Well, I feel that it is valid. It's a valid point, and we're not saying all men, because there are a little sprinkles of men that are, very emotionally aware of themselves. But for the majority, there are men that are hurt. I think they're hurt. They don't have, there's a lot of, men that don't really have their moms in their lives either. They don't. And I'm not trying to like make excuses, but it's like, all of that plays a part in the makeup of emotionally unaware men. How was their lifestyle growing up? Like, was it a point in their lives where they didn't receive any proper emotional support from their women in their family, or it's like, whatever. I think that how a man treat a woman is going to reflect how he was treated by the person or by the woman
whoever raised him.
Right. So it's like,
and I guess you can look at that from that perspective, because of course we always want to give two sides. Okay, so we want to give the what, and then we want to give the why as to what we think that it could possibly be the why. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would just say, just in particular, like just in general, we see it so often where, guys are more connected to their homeboys. Guys are, they want to be around their homeboys all the time. A lot of times the perspective of their homeboys is always number one. The interaction is sometimes better with their homeboys than it is in their relationship. So I feel like that is a form of dysfunction. And then music, like I said in my video, music in society doesn't make it any better, because of course they normalize the disconnect from the women and the guys. So that's why we have so many broken homes, because the agenda that is pushed is money over bitches, fuck these hoes ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like it's a bunch of resentment, but where, like, I guess the question that we could pose is, where is it coming from? And I think that has a lot to do, not only the fact of how you were raised, but also you can also put in perspective that when they think like that, they're not all women are even emotionally receptive. You know what I'm saying? So even if a guy was, you know, open to being, you know, emotionally vulnerable, I would say that if a guy was open to be emotionally vulnerable, a lot of times women don't even know how to accept it. Sometimes though, that vulnerability that the guy expresses, sometimes it comes back up in arguments. So when they talk about different things that they feel some type of way about, or when they open up about certain things that probably have bothered them, maybe traumas and different things of that nature, a lot of times when you are mad and you know, the female is mad, they're gonna bring it up, or you know, they break up, it's gonna come back up. So I guess I can understand why there are certain boundaries when it comes to men as to why they choose not to express certain things to women. But also we have to figure out, like, how can we overcome this great, like, how can we become this disconnect? Like, where is this disconnect taking place, and how can we overcome that? Because it's not going to be any healthy relationships if there's constantly a connect, you know what I'm saying, like a disconnect.
Yeah, I agree.
Because what we were saying, like, you know, when we were talking about, like, just in general, how it's so many, you know, broken homes, it's so many single parents, it's so many, but why do you think that reason is? And then it's like, you know,
it's a cycle. It's a cycle that hasn't been I guess dealt with. Like, it's like, who's going to break the cycle? We have to start, you know, raising our children up to be we have to learn how to, as adults, we have to learn how to be, you know, emotionally stable ourselves, so that we can raise our children up to you know, to carry that, or to, you know, to show that to their spouses in the future. You know, I think it's, you know, I really think it's like a cycle. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely a cycle, but you know, at the same time, it's also a choice. And I say that all the time because so many of us are, you know, and like, trauma is something that starts at an adolescent age. You know what I'm saying? Trauma doesn't start when you're 20 and 21, and because trauma is not necessarily things that were inflicted upon you. Sometimes it can be things that you saw and you became, you have taken these attributes in, you have normalized these different behaviors, and from there you have taken those attributes into your adulthood. So trauma doesn't necessarily mean that these different pains or different things were inflicted on you. However, you adopted a lot of these habits, which brought the trauma in your adult life. So the thing is, how can we undo this trauma? How can we undo this disconnect from, you know, the emotional disconnect, you know what I'm saying? And then also, I would also say, men are not, it's a lot of men that are not comfortable operating in either their masculinity or their femininity. We have so many people straddling the fence. So it's not even just the trauma and the emotion, which emotion and trauma can also play a part in that, because you don't know certain things that people have withstood. So that can play a part into why people act out the way they act out and are restricted and are reserved in certain areas or with certain people versus then with others. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the biggest thing is knowing who you're dealing with. And a lot of times we don't even know ourselves. And then we get into relationships and we expect to know the individual, and the individual don't know themselves. There's so many trauma, it's so much trauma bonding and so many traumatic relationships to the point where we don't even know who we're in touch with. We don't even know who we're in touch with. So we like, well, dang, why can't I have a conversation? And then the next thing you know, we all flying out the end of the first argument we get in, faggot ass nigga, pussy ass nigga, you gay nigga, fucking your homeboy. You know what I'm saying? We always doing that, and you know, and a lot of times we have reasonings behind it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, so it's definitely reasons behind why we feel the way we feel, and I don't feel like we feel that way for no reason. A lot of times people are not accepting of who they are. A lot of times people are scared to even speak on certain things that they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared to even voice certain things that are going on in their head emotionally. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that plays a big part in it as well.
Therapy. I think therapy could really be a good benefit for the community, because it gives us space to really, dive deep within ourselves and to unravel all the traumas and all of the experiences we went through. And also, not only therapy, but you made a good point with the masculinity and the femininity. It's a lot of women working in their masculine, because what are we doing? We're going out and we're making ends meet. We're going out, we're doing the man's role by providing for our families, and we're also juggling that with providing emotional support for our children as well. So we're playing both roles as women. Like, I'm like pro back in the day, old school, like stay at home mom, tend to the children, upkeep the household and stuff like that. I'm really old school. Like I would love that, but I can't do that in this day's society. In this day's society, I'm literally clocking in and paying and providing for myself and my child. And I'm playing both roles. So it's kind of like when I meet a guy, I have to constantly remind myself, okay, be soft. Be gentle, speak softly, wear dresses, wear heels, because it's like I have to put on for the man, I have to put on and be professional for the man so I can, get my money and stuff. So it's like, I have to be aware of my energy around men. And I have to teach myself not to argue with men no more. I don't even argue with men no more. I let them win. I let them win the argument. I just let
because
them
you're
talk.
Operating in the femininity,
right?
See, but the thing is,
I want to be receptive.
The thing is, it's a reciprocal energy that happens, that takes place, because when you're dealing with masculine energy, even someone like me that is naturally aggressive, that natural, you know what I'm saying, that I will. That's why I say, like, that submission thing. You don't have to ask a woman to submit. If you operate in your masculinity, a woman is going to naturally submit to you.
Yes.
But if you do not uphold that masculinity, meaning you can be an alpha, you can be a beta or an alpha male. An alpha male doesn't have to be aggressive, doesn't have to come off mean and rude and loud and obnoxious. You can be an alpha male and be calm. You don't have to degrade a woman to be an alpha male. A woman doesn't have to be a bitch, a hoe, a slut, a puss asshole. She ain't got to be all that for you to be an alpha male. You can just calmly be and operate in your masculinity. And guess what? Your energy, she's going to channel your energy. But so many people are emotionally battered. They're emotionally abused. They have not been able to discuss certain things. They have not been able to have a relationship with their mothers and relationships with their fathers, express brokenness, and even be able to have a mother or a father to even confide in. So guess what? When it comes to being able to express those different emotions, it's going to be a challenge, because I've never even been able to confide in the very one person that I should have been able to have these conversations with. So naturally, you're going to be a little resistant when it comes to other people, because you haven't even got the floor open to you, to the people who you cherish or you hold dearest to you. So it's several different perspectives that can definitely play out in that.
So
but it doesn't negate the fact that, it all boils down to trauma. It all boils down to knowing self, knowing who you are as an individual, and actually wanting to be emotionally available. And the thing is, on top of the emotionally unavailableness when it comes to the women, you have to accept the fact that you are emotionally unavailable. You are available emotionally or connected to your homeboys emotionally because you're not emotionally attached. Your emotional stability, you're closed off due to trauma, due to brokenness, due to broken hearts, due to being betrayed. You know what I'm saying? All those different things will shut you off to a certain degree. So you now deal with your homeboy on a different level, because now y'all both can hide behind true emotions and feelings. And that's the common denominator between the connections, the brokenness, hiding who you are as a person, not necessarily being able to express everything that you would like to express with this person. So y'all are sharing trauma, you know what I'm saying? And that's the trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is not just in intimate relationships. Trauma bonding happen in friendships,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trouble, like it's all in relationships in general.
I think a lot of men try to find their fathers in their homeboys in the comfort of being, or they try to either find their father or they try to find a family unit within, you know, being with their homeboys and stuff, or, you know, being emotionally, you know, connected more to their homeboys and stuff. I think they're trying to fill a void.
For sure.
And it's understandable. We don't like it because we want your attention. We want your intimacy. We want that. But it's like, I come from an understanding standpoint. Like, I can understand why they would do, you know, why they would feel that way, because, you know, just the same as women try to find, you know, their fathers in niggas. Like, it's like, you know,
sometimes I don't, and I don't say, I say that because I don't, and if I am experiencing the trauma from an absent father, I wouldn't know, because I don't feel like I allowed that to affect me in a way where I feel like I have to have a guy, or I have to have a guy that love, or I'm gonna put my happiness, or, you know what I'm saying, or make someone else feel as if they're obligated, or not even obligated, but make them feel like they have the what can I say? I'm not gonna give you the upper hand to make you feel as if you, my happiness, or who I am as a woman, or what I carry, or what I possess. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction to feel as if that you have control over that, because you don't. And the moment that you give one control, they can only have the control that you give them. So I feel like, you know, that's why I say that brokenness and that emotional detachment is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can grow through it. Everybody have trauma. A lot of people didn't grow up with mothers. A lot of people didn't grow up with fathers, but they did not allow that to stop them from being able to interact. Even with, you know, with time, of course, time heals everything. You'll grow from different things. It does not negate the fact that some of these guys are weird. Like, the reality is, a lot of these guys are weird sometimes. Like, it's no reason why you should be with your homeboy all the time. You have a whole old lady at the crib. It's no reason why you should be in the car hanging out with your homeboy, smoking it with your homeboy, waking up to your homeboy in the morning, rolling a joint with your homeboy chilling with you at your crib all day, every day. That's a little weird. That's a little icky to me. That's not normal. It's not normal. Even if you was to find a hobby to do on your own or something like that, like that would be more like, you know, I would understand that. Like, if you like the game, if you know, like play video games or whatnot, or if you like to, you know, do something, you know, on your own, find hobbies or something, but you're always with your friends. Like, you don't got nothing. That's a red flag.
You don't got no hobbies. You don't have no type of, do you go to the gym? I mean, if you go to the gym, you go with your homeboys, but still, like, you don't do anything at your own leisure, like, you know, just to roam around as a male. And
then even with that, and this is outside of the trauma part. This is just getting to the real shit, like the reality. Listen, you hanging with your homeboy all day. Number one, you degrading women, but you kiss the ground that your homeboy walk on.
Yeah.
Your homeboy ain't never been a fuck nigga. Your homeboy ain't never been green. Your homeboy ain't never been pussy. But the bitch that you lay up with every day, the same female that helped you get on your feet, the same female that pour into you, the same female that's there that you can call whenever shit get real, the same female that's there that get you out of situations that your own family won't get you out of. That's the person that you degrade. But your homeboy, who always missing in action, who ain't never got nothing for you, who ain't putting you on no plays, who ain't trying to help you get no motion, who ain't trying to encourage you to do better, who ain't trying to pour into you and make you a better, you know, instill certain values and principles in you, then the people that y'all glorify. And that's why I call it weird. That's why I say these relationships are very weird, because ain't no real men, regardless of the trauma that you've been through, because there are several men that have been through trauma, who have been in the worst of the worst situations, but guess what? They still have a respect and a regard to women. Even the same women that have shitted on them and have not showed them the love that they feel that they are worthy of, or they should have showed them, they still have a level of respect for them. So true enough, we go, you know, trauma and all these different types of things can play a part as to why these guys act and react the way they do, the trauma responses and emotional brokenness and all these different things. But the reality is, these relationships that's going on nowadays are weird. You sit around your homeboys all day. You You at the corner store all day. You in the projects all day with these same boys. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got up there. You will tell your homeboy, boy, you're fresh as fuck before you tell your old lady, like, you beautiful. Like, I appreciate you. Thank you for what you doing. That is backwards. So that emotional connection that the guys have is also weird. Regardless of how people want to look at it, it's very weird. And I don't think I will understand it yet because, like I say today, it's so much of degrading. It's so many people that talk about single parent households. It's so many guys that have several children. That preference is a woman that doesn't have kids. You got to make it make sense. How can you have a preference of a woman that doesn't have kids, and even question a woman that doesn't have kids as to challenge them as to who they are as an individual because they don't have kids? So y'all normalize baby mamas and baby daddies. Yeah. Y'all normalize broken homes in single parent homes, but y'all don't normalize single women without kids. Make it make sense.
Right.
So you break homes, impregnate women, leave women to fend for kids by themselves. Some of the women leave men to fend for themselves, but yet they have an issue when they see single women that don't have kids. And still degrade women. So exactly what do guys want? You degrade the women that don't have kids, that are single, and then you degrade the women that have kids that y'all continue to impregnate. But go and glorify y'all homeboys. So where is the emotional disconnect at? Where is, like, what I'm just trying to figure out is the math just ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing.
It's not.
Right.
It's not. It's really not. And people wonder why we challenge your sexuality. We the first thing come to our mind is, well, damn, bro, what's up? What's up with you and your homeboy, bro? Like, I'm saying, no, like, how y'all, like, come on now, because how y'all moving just ain't really, like, it's not giving. And men get mad when you challenge that, but where is your masculinity at? Because a true man is not going to want to be up under a man all day. A real man is going to want to be like, well, damn, what shit, I need some feminine energy. I need some of that in my presence. Because he got enough testosterone. He don't need all that, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know that they're not operating in masculinity. Because if you were, you would not even thrive. You wouldn't even thrive off of all that. It's a time and a place for it. I'm not saying that it's not, you can't be around your homeboys. I'm not saying that it's not, you need your outlet sometime. But what I am saying is everything should have boundaries on it.
And a balance too.
Balance.
You know, balance your time. You know, even your time out. Like, even it out. Like, set up, you know, set some time up for your girl. Set some time up for your homeboy. Set some time. You need to set ample amount of time up for yourself.
Yes.
So you can start to connect with yourself. Because I think really the root problem is that we don't know ourselves.
Yes.
And we're looking through validation through other people.
Yep.
I mean, women do it too. We do it too. But men also do it as well.
They do.
Y'all are constantly looking for validation. Because why? Probably because you indulge in music that promotes, you know, the fantasy life. You know, being with different bitches all the time. Getting high, you know, drinking or whatever, or being on some type of status, you know, fancy cars and shit that a lot of good women don't even care about. That you even, you know, you don't even gotta have that kind of stuff. Like, there's women out there that will literally take you in and really build you up.
Not me. I'm not her.
Oh,
I'm not her. But
well,
there are some women out there, but nah, yeah.
You got some that will, and I'm not saying. Let me kind of reiterate on that, because I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm not saying that it's a good thing that a lot of women do take any guy in and build them up. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but there are women that will do it out of the kindness of their heart, and the man will take advantage of that.
They will.
Full-fledged advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or take you know, because I was that girl, but I'm learning now. I'm not a pick me chick.
That's
like
it.
I'm not gonna be a pick me chick.
That's it.
It's called a pick-me girl. And they take advantage of those girls.
Yeah, and it's a lot of them.
But you're gonna take advantage of the wrong pick-me, and she's gonna turn into a whole savage.
But that's why I say it's a lose-lose in so many cases, because of the fact that you can be that woman, you can be a good woman.
Yeah.
You can give them the emotional support that they need. You can give them the stability that they need mentally. And guess what? Because they're emotionally unavailable. They're emotionally available to their homeboys.
Right.
They're emotionally unavailable to the people who are there for them in their corner. You give
all the good stuff to your homeboy.
And I do feel like it does trickle back down to how they were raised. Because if there was no connection, no loyalty from the person that should have given that to you, you live your life and you treat the people, the very same people that are pouring into you what your mothers and fathers should have been doing for you. You give them your ass to kiss, and the people who ain't doing it, them the ones that they glorify. They glorify they worship the grind that they walking on. And it's starting to make sense to me right now as I'm talking about this. It's crazy. Like, it's starting to make sense to me because it was a disconnect in their homes from the mothers and the mothers and the fathers, right? That was a disconnect. So naturally, you're going to disconnect from someone that's giving you something that the person that should have gave it to you you're going to naturally disconnect from them, because the person that should have given you what the person that is giving you that they didn't give it to you.
Right.
So you're running away from that because that is something that you're dealing with, abandonment issues.
You don't feel like you deserve it.
And you don't feel deserving because the person that should have given it to you did.
Right.
So it's deep-rooted trauma.
It is.
And that's why you have to know who you're dealing with. When you know who you're dealing with, sometimes that's why so many people like separate themselves. It's not because we feel like we better. We feel like, we got it all together. No, you are starting to learn different things about life and different thought processes and the way people think and the reason why they function the way they function. And it calls you to take a step back and put yourself in a box so that you can get your shit together. And don't allow those different toxic attributes and traumatic ways of people who are still operating in brokenness and trauma, the same cycle that you're trying to break yourself out of, you have to separate yourself from while you're trying to do the work to make sure you overcome that. It's all starting to make sense to me now why people operate. And every time I do like a topic, it's like it just gives me more clarity. Like, these people are experiencing things, these people are not dealing with things, these people are using things to cope with them, which are temporary coping mechanisms that they're going to have to need again and again and again. And they get around people that are feeding that very same demonic force, that very same ego, that broken ego, that very same hurt and brokenness. They're feeding it. They're getting around people who can relate to them in that manner, and guess what? They're feeding each other, and they're feeding off of each other's brokenness.
Because misery likes.
You said that's why I love the book, The Fourth Agreements. Crystal, what is it about? Because maybe someone that's on here can probably use that.
I read the book. It's been years. That's a pretty old book, but it's a classic. It's a good book to help you enlighten yourself about, like, not taking things personally, doing your best at anything that you do. I forget the other two, but that book is a gem. It really gives you clarity on life and how to detach from
people and things,
right? Your situations and stuff and people, and because you got some people that will treat you like dirt,
and then,
but it's not because of you. The book explains, like, it's not because it's not you, it's them.
Yeah.
And it really breaks it down on how people treat you because of how they feel about themselves and how you shouldn't take it personally.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah,
that's a great book.
And even
that helped me out a lot because I used to take things
personal.
Personal.
Girl, who are you telling? I used to react to everything, spaz on people.
Oh my god.
Even now, like
I was so.
We was in a store and I was it was this lady. She was looking. Of course, she was not of our race. So the first thing come to my mind is, why is she looking like that? But that's in my head. And my cousin was like, yeah, she looked like she had an attitude and all this. I said, cuz she probably didn't have an attitude. I said that might just be her natural face. But the thing is, we're so conditioned to operating in a certain type of defense because of the things that we have experienced in our peers, in our you know what I'm saying, our elders, and all these different people have experienced before us. So we operate in that state of mind, not realizing that this is a defense that you have up against people. That's the same way it goes with your emotions,
right,
and your feelings, and how you express things, and the things that you know what I'm saying, hold dear to you, and what you take personal. It all trickles back down to how you went through these different things. Yes, right. It's about detaching and reteaching yourself. That's one of the agreements. Don't take anything personal. Personal will save you so much hurt, and it will.
Yep.
It really will.
Yeah.
It really will. Even relationships, when people get cheated on, them people not cheating on you because of you. Them people cheating on you because of them. And guess what? A lot of times people want the upper hand on you. So guess what? They'll make you feel like it's about you. And in reality, it ain't about you. It's about them. Yep. But so many people are not willing to address who they are, or their brokenness, or what they have going on internally. And it sounds so easy. It's so easy to deflect and put in and project exactly what they have going on internally onto someone else. So that's why sometimes you got to make sure, even if they put it on you, analyze, okay, well, damn, am I emotionally broke? Like, what I'm saying, like, some things you do have to take accountability for. I'm not saying that, but some things, when you know it ain't you, baby, it ain't you. When you know it within your heart, within your heart of hearts that it's not you, you have to reflect. Because people deflect all the time. The moment you tell them something about them, they're going to put it on you.
Right.
Instead of taking accountability for their wrongdoing. People do it. People do it. You're in friendships, broken cousinships, sisterships, brotherships. Guess what? Instead of people saying that I am emotionally unavailable. I felt some type of way about how people are reacting to you. I feel some type of way about how people love you. I feel some type of way about how people look up to you. So guess what they're going to do? Say, you did this to them. You made me feel like this. You didn't do right by me. I do all this, but you don't do this. That's deflecting, and that's what people do instead of taking accountability for their brokenness, their hurt, their trauma, the things that have hurt them, and the things that they're dealing with internally. That's what people do. They deflect all the time. So whatever book that is, Crystal, drop that in the chat again. Y'all go and check that out, because the biggest thing is accepting detachment and understanding not to take everything personal. People are broken. People are hurt. Yeah. People are emotionally unavailable due to brokenness and being hurt. You can be the perfect woman for the wrong man. It don't be you. It be the person that don't know how to love, or never grew up seeing genuine love. And that's why I say all the time, even not seeing genuine love. People don't.
I just got out of that situation, being a perfect woman to the wrong man.
Yeah.
I was a pick-me chick, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that because I was willing to do any and everything just to win him. I was one of the girls that y'all would like to ride or die. Like, it was a growth experience for me. I needed to go through that because I've never been with a guy that treated me like shit, like all the way through. I've never been with a guy that treated me like shit ever. This is the first guy that I've been with that literally treated me like shit. It didn't matter how much sex I gave him. It didn't matter how many rides I gave him. It didn't matter how many errands I ran for him. He was in it for what he can get out of it.
Yep.
And I had to come in realization for that. And he hung out with his homeboys. I wanted to chill, I wanted to like Netflix and chill with my man, whatever, but he'd rather hang out with his homeboys and be in the streets all the time.
And that's because it was always a disconnect from the beginning. Right. And the thing is,
But he came up in a 2-parent household.
And that's why I say you cannot judge. I say, and I've had this conversation with my brother, and certain people feel like if you grew up in 2-parent households, that you have an advantage that a single parent household doesn't have. And I tell people that all the time, baby, that is not necessarily true. Because a lot of people grew up in a 2-parent household that didn't even see real love.
Right.
So imagine being around something that you can't miss nothing that you ain't never have. So if I grew up in a household where the mother was always pouring out everything and did not get it in return. The dad was abusive, verbally, mentally, physically, didn't treat the woman how she was supposed to see. Is that something that I'm actually gaining, or am I gaining trauma? Am I gaining something that is going to be necessary? At the end of the day, everything happened for a reason, so you have to be able to learn from the good and the bad. However, sometimes being in a single parent household ain't so bad, because I've seen a lot of successful men in relationships and marriages that came from single parent households. So all the time, it's not always the 2-parent households that make a major
unit.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that. And Tabitha, like you said, the people with that relationship, just to avoid accountability, yes they will, because they were never men from the beginning. They were never women from the beginning. A woman will ghost you, a man will ghost you, a man will negate anything your feelings or anything that you feel that makes them feel or have to reflect on themselves. They're gonna do that. And that's where the ghosting come into play, and that's where just people just walking away. It's easy to walk away. Those are abandonment issues.
Yep.
Emotion, it's deeper than emotions. Abandonment issues, when you can just walk away from something and you know that this person loved you and this person has poured into you and this person has gave you so much. You can walk away from it because you have been through abandonment. You know what it feels like to be walked out on. So walking out on someone else is not as hard to you.
Right. It's a cycle.
Generational curses.
Yep.
You have to be willing to do the work to undo the trauma.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people don't want, because the beginning of doing the work is accepting that the issue is there. So many people feel like there's no issue. So if there's no issue, what is it to fix? So many people are going to continue to be broken because none of us are addressing that we are the issue. Once we say, you know what, instead of listening to respond and listen to hear, like to actually hear
and understand,
correct, you're not going to change and fix the issues that lie within. And that's why so many of us are emotionally unavailable. And let me tell you something. Majority of the people that are in relationships right now are emotionally unavailable. Why you think people cheating right now? Why you think it's so much infidelity? Because they are emotionally unavailable. I can connect to these different souls and create soul ties with all these different men and women. Of course I can, because I'm emotionally unattached. I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm emotionally unavailable. I can tell you, I can sleep with you, I can have relations with you, I can make you feel like you're the only one, knowing that I have several other men and women. I can do all these different things, but guess what? That's because I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm not even emotionally available to myself. Because one thing about it, when you're emotionally available for yourself, you're going to be able to be real, for one. But you're going to be able to be emotionally available for your significant other or whoever it is that you're in connection with.
Right. She's right. I agree. Yeah, I've been through that. I could write a book for what I went through. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to make...
That's
look,
it.
I'm gonna turn that lead into gold because I'm an alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna make some money off of what I'm gonna make something out of what I went through with that dude. But she's right. Like, it's like, and you gotta address things like this, because if you don't address it, it's just gonna keep happening. It's kind of like forgetting your history. What happens? You repeat it. So if you forget your actions or how you know, because I think what I went through was my karma though, because I did my dirt. I did my work. I did my dirt too. I wasn't always the good girl. Like, I was not. You know, I cheated. I stepped out before, and I think God put you in position or put you in situations to really mirror yourself. Like, you know,
this was you, boo. This was you.
Exactly.
I saw you.
And we both the same sign. Like me and my karmic sign was the same sign. I ain't never dated my same sign ever. I hated dating my same sign. Girl. But I was so in love with him. Like, I was in love with
somebody that act like you. Like, it's just so, it's crazy, because it's like, you know how they feel, you know what they thinking, you know when they gonna hit you up, you know all these different things, because it's just a different, I don't know. But I think I'm like that anyway. I feel like I'm intuitive in that certain sense, because I feel like I can connect with people, and I know, like, when you thinking about me, like, I just know all these different things. Like, it's so crazy. But maybe just because I got, you know what I'm saying, control. I got mind control over these.
You got
Let me stop. Mind control over
mind control. I gotta get like you then. I'm just right now, it's like I'm in a space where I'm just absorbing, and I'm going back to the drawing board, and I'm just, it's new management going on inside of me. I had to fire the girl that I was, and just put a real boss bitch in the seat.
The rebirth. It's a rebirth.
Right, because now it's like, you ain't gonna get me with no game. Can't no man talk me into doing anything like they used to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not naive.
A lot of men talk.
That's it.
They talk, but they don't show action.
Mm-hmm.
But we fall for it.
Yes.
We fall for it. We don't wait until we see if he's gonna own up to what he's talking, or add up to what he's saying, what he's putting out. That was my mistake. That
mind fuck is one of the number one finesses for the naive.
Yes.
Because once you build this up, it only took one for me. One fuck up. I'm talking about one fuck up. Like, who? Bitch, waste who time? Bitch, you ain't got what? Bitch, you need what? Who? Bitch, don't even come to me talking about what the fuck you need and what you ain't got, and you better come together with something. I mean, your own crib, your own car, you better be established before you step to me. Right. Don't even come my way if you ain't got your shit together, bro. Like, or at least on my level, at least have what I have, and have a state of mind to go somewhere. I can't pour into you and help you, but make you want to be emotionally available. I can't pour into you to make you want a greater,
that's too much,
to dream big. I can't do that. And I'm not gonna do that. You have to do it for yourself, and that's why it's important to connect to guys and be the person who you want to attract, for one. Right. Because one thing about the person that's not for you, baby, they ain't gonna even approach you on a certain type. And even if they do, they ain't gonna go with so far, because they gonna understand what they receive when the first moment that you say something, and what come out of your mouth, baby, ain't gonna even be what they even expect, which probably be what they expect. But a lot of times men feel like they be having more sense than the women, and some women like that too. A lot of these women that look and feel or act like they are doing certain things aren't doing it. And the reality of it all is, as long as you're dating someone that is on the same level and trying to come up with you and not come up off you, that's the most important thing. Stop dating these people that's trying to use you to come up, who trying to use you as an asset, but they're a liability. Stop dealing with these people. And they feel some type of way when you don't have no understanding and you don't want to connect and talk to them. Right. You're going to always leave yourself in a deficit dealing with people who don't have nothing going on for themselves. Naturally, they will abandon you because they ain't got shit. Naturally, they don't give a fuck about your feelings because don't nobody give a fuck about theirs. One thing about it, when you have something going on for yourself, you're going to see the level of need that the need that you're going to play in other people's lives. When you ain't doing shit with your life, do you not know how many people are not going to care to be around you? When you have no motion, and I don't just mean motion like money, I mean like a mind state to get there. And actually your best foot forward. Fuck what you got. You ain't got to have it yet. God know we ain't going to have our shit together off rip like that. But he gave us the vision, and he give us the dream, and he give us the state of mind. But faith without works is dead. So if you're not putting your best foot forward, guess what? Ain't nobody finna take you serious. You can talk all day.
Yep.
These men can neglect these women because they don't have nothing going on, but the women are still getting themselves in these fucked up circumstances with these men who are not emotionally available. They're not available, so they don't give a fuck if they leave you with 100,000 bills. They don't give a fuck if they fuck up your car and leave you and your kids left walking. They don't care about that. They don't have no regards for you. You have to be able to understand and discern the man that will be for you and the man that will be an asset to you and not a liability. The moment that you accept that a lot of these men are more of a liability than an asset, you will stop getting yourself in these situationships and these fuck friend relationships. And let that shit go. Get you a damn toy. If you just need your needs satisfied, go and get you a damn toy. I ain't tried it yet, but guess what? If I ever get to the point where I'm that desperate, I will. Because I'd rather have some shit going on, have somebody with some motion sitting in my house where I can go to his shit and shit. If I just need a peace of mind, I can go to my niggas, I can go to my people crib, you feel me? But if I can't even do that, then what are we doing? I need a release sometimes. And vice versa for these men. If they got an old lady, it's no reason why they can't get up and go to my old lady house to get a peace of mind. If I got an old lady, why can't I just, you feel me, like why can't she be my peace sometime? Men need it the same way. Because these women be doing the same thing. They liabilities. Bitch, you want your hair and your nails did, but bitch, you sitting on your ass all day. Only thing you want is a dime. You feel me? Want you some blacks to smoke? You know what I'm saying? What you got going on? What motion that you got going on? Ain't nobody finna sit up here and dwell on what our parents ain't do and how we ain't got this up. Bitch, get out here and get it off the muscle, bro. You gotta do it.
You gotta get that shit.
Dwelling on what you ain't got, dwelling on what you done been through, dwelling on who did shit to you is not gonna change your situation. And the moment that we start accepting that, the moment that we will start operating in reality and actually putting ourselves in better positions.
Right.
In relationships.
Right.
Disconnecting from liabilities and connecting to assets. But you first have to be an asset before you connect to them. You will not be an asset in a room full of assets. You will not be a liability in a room full of assets. Because ain't nobody finna want to be connected to that. So think about that.
You're right. I don't know. The way I think about things, like the way I see and view things, like now, because I've been through so much shit and I've put in so much energy and guys that didn't really give me the same, energy. I'm really cold now. Like, I don't have no feelings for guys. I mean, if you want to, if you want to be in a relationship with me, like, there's no going half on anything. Like, you're going to be supporting me. You're going to be, doing what the man of the household is supposed to be doing. That's just my mind frame right now. And if I don't get that, that's fine. I'm good with being alone. I'm good with being single. I take myself out on dates, and it's the best thing. And I get attention when I take myself out on dates. A lot of women don't understand that. Like, you got guys that, go somewhere with their homeboys and they'll ask you, like, dang, you here by yourself? And then that's how you strike up a conversation, and boom, you got you a free drink or something. Or you got they pay your tab. Like, I do that by myself all the time. I'm like, damn, I could really enjoy myself by myself. And I don't need no guy. And if I do have a real serious relationship, he's gonna have to step up. I'm not putting in on no man no more.
And I need you to reiterate that before we close out. I just need you to reiterate that last. It's a statement that you made where you said, I am not going 50-50 with the guy.
No.
He is gonna have to what?
Pay all the bills.
And if he is not willing to do that,
all of them. No.
You are willing to what?
Walk away.
And be by yourself. That's the biggest thing that's important.
Yes.
You have to, before we close it out,
that should be our next topic.
Listen, if you know what your expectations is, because what we have to understand is what she may want out of a man and her expectation of a guy is going to be different. And so many people base their expectations based off of someone else. You not her. You can't move how she move because you don't think the way she think and you don't operate how she operate. I don't care how you try to talk like somebody. I don't care how you try to walk like somebody. I don't care how you try to dress like somebody, baby. You can't beat them.
50-50
She
is roommate
states
status.
that she do not want to be with someone
I don't
that
want to
is
be with
going
my
50-50.
roommate. I don't want to date my roommate. I want to date my man.
The big
bills.
picture is that is her expectation.
Yeah.
What is your expectation?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your expectation is, stand by it. Stand on it.
And
if can't nobody respect that, and if you ain't living up to the expectation on top of that, make sure you're living up to the expectation that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if the person that you are interested in or the person that's interested in you cannot respect that, then be okay with being alone. And that's why all of us have to learn how to be able to keep our own selves company, so that we do not settle in relationships.
I'm too busy to worry about being alone anyways. Like, I keep myself busy.
And that's the biggest thing. Be okay with being by yourself until these people are willing to get their emotions in order, being able to get their finances available, getting their themselves together in general, so that they can be an asset to someone else's life. Because if they're not together, you can guarantee they're going to be a liability. So I hope y'all enjoyed this live tonight. And I hope y'all enjoyed my co-host, Jaleesa. I'm
enjoyed
glad.
myself.
Listen,
Thank
and
you
I'm
for
so
having
glad
me.
to have you. Like,
Thank
and
you
we
for having me.
definitely got to do this again.
Absolutely.
So we need to be working up on another topic. Listen, y'all. If y'all have any more topics that you guys would like, any topic suggestions that you would like us to speak on, feel free to let us know. Y'all, we still got them shirts going for the LO. So whatever size, you know what I'm saying, extra small through large, go ahead and cop yours. They are unisex sizes and they do stretch, but unisex sizes means they run up. So whatever size you wear, you might want to go a size down or two. You know what I'm saying? So get at your girl. Yeah, go ahead and get you one. Yeah, do that the down way. So y'all, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Thank y'all for being in the building, and I will see you guys. I think I may have somebody coming in for free flow Friday, but you guys will see. Stay tuned, okay? Y'all boys be easy.
Bye.